Hello and welcome to the What's Good with Gil and Larry podcast on the Blockbuster Buzz 302 channel. I am Gilly Rizzari. I am here with my main man, Larry Loper. We are coming to you live from Northern Delaware. We got NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, if we can fit in a little WWE, but we got to start with the NFL. They ruled the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, even though Saturday, uh,
Yeah.
like I know those players. But the NFL draft has come and gone. It has been a 3-month prep for it to actually happen. And then once it's gone, it's like, wow, it's really not here. So we are going to get into the overall thoughts, the winners, the losers, how they compared to our mock draft that we did last week, my own personal mock draft that I did 2 weeks ago. And then maybe obviously the headliner and the most controversial pick player. We'll get into all that. But Larry, your overall overview of the NFL draft, in particular that first round, um, discarding your own personal pick as an overview. What did you think? Was it excitement? Was it must-see TV? Was it more of the same or disappointment?
Oh, nah, man. Honestly, I thought it was a great draft. I thought it was a great draft, in my opinion. Um, I think the teams that needed the players they needed got the players they needed, especially in the first round. Um, Only one that threw me off, honestly, was my pick. The Cowboys pick. I didn't see that coming. I didn't see us going for offensive lineman. And I gave us a lot of smoke about it. I was like, because Jerry's stuck in the 90s, man. He it's like that's what he knew was to be successful is the trenches. And me and you talk about it all the time is that, yes, to build championship caliber teams, you do have to go in the trenches. You have to address the trenches. Okay. Zach Martin retired. I get it. I don't think that was a glaring need of offensive linemen, was a glaring need. I thought that we could have got a receiver that help CD Lamb out because, he's going to be targeted a lot because he is the number one threat. Obviously, you're not going to get a running back unless you're going to really make a splash and go get Genty. So you're not going to get no running back that high. You're just not. So I thought we could have been a little bit more aggressive going to get the. I thought we could have get McMillan. If that was a receiver to get, I thought we could have been a little bit more aggressive to go get him, right? But I like the second round pick. I did like the second round pick out of BC. Donovan and Zeke is I must jack his name up, but Donovan E. Okay, we did get Mike get some help on that line. Um, it wasn't too many. Jacksonville surprised me. I didn't think they was gonna come up to get Travis Hunter. They were aggressive. But we figured that they were gonna go offensive though. Me and you talked about it. We thought they was gonna go offensive. That because him being an offensive minded coach, we just thought that he might go offensive and go get an offensive player. I didn't think it was gonna be. I thought he was gonna get Genty. I didn't think he was gonna get Travis Hunter. Game changer. Game changer. You give Trevor Lawrence. Smart move. Smart move for Jacksonville. It was a smart play. A smart pick. I thought the Giants had a great draft. I thought they addressed some good needs. Eagles got another player. I hate the fact that Eagles got a player. I thought y'all did a good job. I thought y'all did a good draft. What you think about your draft? We thought y'all got players that well, you got the tight end you wanted. So I know you're happy about the tight end you got.
Couldn't lose either one, whether it was Warren or whether it was Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland. That was like 1A, 1B. It really didn't matter to me which one. I thought, okay, I had Warren an eyelash rated higher, and most people did, but I heard like a week leading up to the draft that Loveland might be a better fit. But you don't know what's smoke and what's not smoke. And there's always this, might be, could be, should be, blah, blah, blah. You just, you don't know. I don't think, the people who get paid to do this, I don't think they know either. Like I've said when we did our mock draft, I think our picks are going to be just as good as the people who make millions of dollars doing this. Mel Kiper Jr. makes millions of dollars.
Yes, he does.
Doing this. So, I mean, what I liked, what I'm gonna be honest, was I liked the pick before. And the reason I liked the pick before was because it was Kelvin Banks, and I didn't want the
Oh yeah,
Bears to
yeah,
take
you
it.
want, yeah,
So
you
he
want,
went number 9, which whew, I was happy about that. So I figured it was going to be one of the tight ends. I thought it was going to be Tyler Warren. It wasn't. It was Colston Loveland. I
mhm.
am I am definitely fine with that. And I mean, not that we're really getting into the second round, but I thought that first pick in the second round was fantastic. Getting the wide receiver, Luther
Oh
Bird,
yeah, Luther Warren. Yeah, that was a great pickup for y'all.
Adam
That's a
Mizzou.
great pickup for
That
y'all.
was great. Now that is not initially who they wanted, but it just kind of fell there. So I really like my first 2 picks. After that, I'm up and down. I thought they
Mhm.
overreached. I think they waited too long on running back. They didn't get a pass rusher.
Yeah,
So it is what it is. But I can't complain too much. This offseason has been so good for the
yeah.
Bears. And I think, I don't think it's a coincidence that a tight end and a wide receiver went 1-2, and Ben Johnson's an offensive minded coach. So I have a feeling, he was like, give me a couple guys early and you could do whatever you want with the rest. Cause it just seems like after that second pick, it just seems like it was typical overthinking Ryan Poles. Let me trade back, let me trade back, let me trade back. I'm a former offensive lineman, but I don't know how to judge offensive linemen going from college to the pros. I mean, he took another right tackle from
Yeah.
Boston College. He took another guy. This guy, if he starts, that means somebody else isn't doing their job. So he basically. I thought last year was bad drafting an offensive tackle in a third round as a backup. This
Mhm.
year he's going to draft an offensive tackle in the second round as a backup. If he starts, that means that somebody got hurt or they're not doing their job. And I
Right.
don't want to hear about these guys that have played, one side of the line the majority of their career, but once they get to the NFL, we can put them on the other side. You don't know that. You want a left tackle, then draft a left tackle. They were there. They were there. You could have got a Versary from Minnesota if you wanted that,
Mhm.
but that's not what you got. That's not what you got. And you could have got running back in the third round. That's not what you did. It's not what you did. So it is what it is. I like the first 2 picks. I would say my draft is like a B
B
minus.
minus.
I like the first pick a lot. I think I like the first pick in the second round even better. Now, what's funny about it is so the Bears, with 2 good tight ends, they're going to play a lot of 12 personnel.
Right.
But Luther Burden, he is a slot receiver. So that means when he's in there, they're not going to be in 12 personnel.
Mhm.
So you're going to have the 2 rookies, the 2 offensive rookies, but they're not going to be on the field at the same time,
Yeah.
which is kind of odd because if you're going to take advantage of Colston Loveland's ability, you use him as a tight end but spread him wide. You,
Right.
you leave Cole Kmet
Right.
at the end of the line, whichever end, but you have the matchup when you have Colston at 6'5.5", and he's going to be thicker than any corner or safety that's covering him.
Mhm.
So you have him in space out in the slot, but then you can't do that with Luther Burden. So he's going to be in the slot. So he's going to be probably more like 11 personnel if I had to guess. Um, but we'll see how imaginative Ben Johnson's offense can be. We were talking about winners. I like Jacksonville moving up because you're you're
Mhm.
you're putting juice. New head coach, new general manager. You're injecting like juice into your team and your fan base
Right.
by moving up and getting probably the best prospect in this year's draft. Now they're giving up their first rounder next year.
Yeah.
So Cleveland had a lot of picks this year and they used 2 of them on quarterbacks.
Mhm.
But they're gonna have a second first rounder next year, so they're gonna be able to pick twice. So and they wind up getting Mason Graham. They only moved down
Yeah.
3 spots, and they got Mason Graham. So they're gonna have
Yeah.
Mason Graham and Miles Garrett on
Yeah,
the defensive line.
yeah, that's gonna be
Inside outside. So that's pretty good. So if you had to pick a winner, I think they both. I think it's A+ trade for both teams,
yes.
and we don't know what Cleveland's going to do next year. But if right now, if you had to pick a winner of that trade, you picking Jacksonville or you picking Cleveland? Because I know who I'm picking.
Oh man, shoot. You still go back. I'm picking Cleveland
Why?
because one, you got the defensive help you needed alongside of Miles Garrett, right? The quarterback situation is going to be what it is. You don't expect them to do too much anyway. You get this. You get the first round pick. You get the first round pick next year, who the quarterback might actually be better next year in that class. So you actually could go get your guy, which I doubt that they're going to go that route, depending on how this shapes out this year, and the rookies they drafting and the veterans, boom, boom. But man, and you got that defense, man. You got the we said if you want to go, it's going to be a Duke Carter, but then you still get the second best, which is Mason Graham. Yes, I believe so. Just because what they got out the deal, and they still got a valuable piece, and they got a first round pick next year. So that's why I would give it to Cleveland over Jacksonville.
I'm going to go the other way.
Okay.
I'm going to say Jacksonville just because money owed is not the same as money in hand. So Jacksonville knows what they got. They got the best player in this year's draft, prospect wise. Who knows how it
Was right.
They know it. They moved up to get their guy, the best player, a guy that's going to help on defense, but help a lot more on offense.
But it's the best on Trevor Lawrence to me, though, because it's all about Trevor Lawrence play.
Mm-hmm.
If he could cut the interceptions down, because he had weapons at one point when Doug Peters was there, he had weapons. It's just that the quarterback, unfortunately, his position is relying upon that quarterback getting him the ball. Like, we know that he's a playmaker. We know he could get the space separation. It depends if Trevor Lawrence can get him the ball. So if that combination works out, as we predicted, I hope that it will, because just Trevor Hunter is just an exceptional athlete, right? Then yes, big move for Jacksonville, right? Say it doesn't go that route. Cleveland, I feel, has more leverage because they could go in and get whatever pieces they're going to be missing. They can start to fill them pieces next year because that first round pick is going to be very valuable. That's a valuable piece. But, this is my opinion on it.
I mean, you could be right, but the other thing is it's Cleveland.
It is Cleveland. That's
like they're going to screw something up.
Look, that was the asterisk to what I'm about to say. It's Cleveland, okay? They didn't have five. They had first round picks, top 5 picks for the last, I don't know, years, right? And it never pans out, man. Miles Garrett wanted to leave, man. He stayed for the money. You know what I mean? Which, hey, man, made a business decision, whatever. For me, the competitor in me, and what are we playing for? Yes, we're playing for money, but I think once I'm cool on that end, I need a chip, man. I need to solidify my position, man. I need to be one of them ones, And everybody might not be playing to be one of them ones, but they want to be the Hall of Famers. They want to, the championships to stamp their legacy. Some people cool with just having a nice NFL career riding off of the sunset. You feel me? I don't think I would be one of them type of players because of my competitive nature. I want to win in everything I do. So I just couldn't see me just, once you get your money, yeah, I accomplished my goal. I'm one of the highest paid. I'm good. My family's good. I'm good. I need a chip, and I don't think it's going to happen in Cleveland. I'm sorry. I just don't think it's going to happen. They didn't have some really good rosters, man.
I think when you talk championship, you start with quarterback.
Yes.
And I don't see any of these guys right now as a, championship type quarterback pedigree. None of them. And the problem is because they took 2 quarterbacks this year, they're not going to, I mean, who knows with Cleveland, because I didn't think they were going to take 2. But are they really going to try and get if by a chance they have like a kind of bad year, like let's say they're somewhere in the top 10, if someone would be like, oh, they can use both of those first rounders to move up and get whatever quarterback. but they just drafted
They
two.
just drafted two, so that don't make no logic. But
No.
once again, it's Cleveland, so it makes no logical sense,
Mhm.
right? Because first and foremost, and I'm glad this is like the segue leading to the segue, because we would think that the news that we will be going over would have been strictly the draft and the picks, but unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to call it, and cut it, and we'll talk about it, right? The
Mhm.
big news of the whole weekend was where Shador was going to land. Okay. In a weak quarterback class, right? Because it was weak. We had him as the second best quarterback. I would agree. He was the second best quarterback in that week draft. Because you're not going to tell me that Tyler Shaw was better than him. Jackson Dart shot up and is going to lead to my point, because I'm about to really go into my opinion on this whole situation, right? But you even said it yourself. You didn't see Jackson Dart, somebody coming up for the first round to go get Jackson Dart. You didn't see that. You said it. You didn't think he was going to go the first round. But he went the first round to the Giants, right? Boom. You're not going to tell me Dylan Gabriel, the quarterback drafted before Shador, was better than Shador.
Mhm.
I will not co-sign that, okay? Now, we will address the elephant in the room, which is Shador's plummet, okay? At best, they had him at best, they say, okay, he might went to the Saints, right? I didn't see that happening to the Saints. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't see that happen to the Saints. Because one, I don't even think, because you'd have heard it. We'd have heard all the chirp, right? If this is going to be your quarterback, don't you think that we would have heard about him? Really, they would have brought him twice, 3 times. They would have really worked him. Because that's normally when you're set on a quarterback, you're going to work him to make sure that's your guy, right? Never heard no buzz about that. We heard a little bit chirp about the Giants in the end, right before it was about to end. The Giants, right? Didn't hear nothing about. We heard a little bit about Pittsburgh, but not too much, right? So it really, I didn't have a feel. We were just assuming, like, okay, it's 4 teams that legit, realistically, you use a quarterback, right? Okay, so you agree with me, right? You had Tennessee, but they're already going to draft Cam Ward, right? You had the Saints because of Derek Carr's situation. You had Pittsburgh because who's their starting? Mason Rudolph, a journeyman. Okay.
Could have been the Giants at 3.
It could have been the Giants at 3. I'm sorry. It could have been the Giants, right? Could have been the Giants. So what we got there? 1, 2, 3. And I'll say you can throw Raiders in there as a backup toward for Gino. Okay. That was it. All the other teams is cool at that quarterback position. So being that it wasn't a lot of people, a team searching for a quarterback or starting quarterback, right? That means that you are limited. You are limited. Okay. So now we go to this big thing called collusion. It's a term been used a lot. It's been a big term used a lot for collusion. They say collusion, secret agreement for legal purpose. I want to bring it up for people that don't know what this is. This is what collusion is, okay? Because there's been a lot of talk, okay? Now, I'm a black man. As you can see, I'm black. I ain't changed my stripes. I'm black, right? And you got to understand, man, we have this big thing, and it goes back to slavery. It goes back to our position in America. It goes back to anything that's slighted against us that we feel is a slight. We're going to say it's injustice. We're going to say racism. We're going to say all the above, because that's what we'll go to, okay? Now, I'm not going to say that these rich owners, which unfortunately, it's nothing but there's no black owners in the NFL, okay? It's none. They have one minority owner, and I believe that's Khan down there in Carolina. Okay.
Jacksonville.
I'm sorry, Jacksonville. You're right, Jacksonville. That's the only one that I know of that's an owner that's not white or Caucasian. Okay. So it is a secret club that they're not letting nobody. I don't care how much money you got, you're not getting in this club, right? The majority of people that play for these clubs are black. You know what I mean? And a lot of them come from poverty, right? Pride and nil. Okay. You can play for it, but you won't be owner. We understand that dynamic. If you don't understand that dynamic, then you're blind, dumb, and deaf to the reality. We can't change that. Unless we've grown, we can't change that fact. Okay. Now, being said all that, this is the biggest interview of your life. Okay. You're going in as the quarterback. That position holds a lot of weight. You're the leader of the potential franchise you're going to be of. We look at the quarterback. Okay. We don't look at the defensive back. We don't look at the safety. We don't look at the running back. Win, lose, or draws, two people we're going to look to for the wins and the losses. It's going to be the coach and the quarterback. Okay? That's why they make so much money. They're the face of the franchise. They're the leader. Okay? You want a guy that's going to be about the team. Behind closed doors, you can be selfish all you want. But in front of the public, it's got to be team. It's my fault. I could have did better. You're right. It was my fault. I could have did better. Even though it wasn't my fault, but I should have did better because I could have made a couple throws, whatever the case may be. I wasn't privy to the meetings, but I could tell you that I can understand the stance of how Shador probably went into these meetings because he didn't participate at the combine. That's one. He didn't work out, show your goods. That's how Jackson Dart shut up the board because he showed him what he could do at the combine.
Mm-hmm.
He needed to go to the combine.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you only got 4 teams that really need a quarterback. Why are you talking about you're not going to show off at the combine? You that great? No, you're not. Then 2, we're gonna keep it funky, man. Because we gotta cut it both ways, man. 2, your daddy got in public at the Super Bowl. He feeling himself. He having a good old time. He done did his job. They have a real good marketing, a good media push in Boulder. They really do. They really do media well. I think they overvalued his value. So he said, my son is not going to play for yada, yada, yada. We're going to control this thing. We're going to control this thing. I just broke down the prior statement for a reason, Gil.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own anything. I don't care about your Hall of Fame jacket. I don't care about any records you broke. I don't care about none of that stuff. It don't matter when it comes to dollars and power. Oh, so you that bold. You think you're going to just tell us who going to draft your son, huh? Okay. We're going to see how that's going to go. So collusion was in play. It was started because of the interview process. Okay? When I go to a job interview, I have to sell myself. I have to go to this job and let them know that I'm an asset and value to their company. Okay? I can't go into the interview, Gil, cocky. It's cocky and confidence, 2 different things. Arrogance is a turnoff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need this job. I'm thinking about working here, but realistically, I got another job I might think about taking.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, I just came because I just wanted to see what y'all gonna offer me. Nobody likes the attitude, bro. And you're talking about being my quarterback, my franchise quarterback, and you're coming here with this we. You start using terms like we. Yeah, we know they don't like it. Who is we? Your dad already did his thing. Your dad already solidified his legacy. You go in there with legendary. Brandon already, legendary. It was legendary, right? And went the wrong way. Yeah, you legendary plummeted from possibly the 2nd round pick. It could have been 1st, but let's just say realistically 2nd round, right? To the 5th. So yes, it was a message that was sent. Do I agree with the message? It ain't for me to agree with it. I just know that rich people got together and said, listen, man, we don't like your attitude. You coming in here like you just own the place. You just coming here like and Damian Woody. It's been a lot of people. What's my man Shaq or Swagoo? A great point. Stephen A. once always, and this is my issue with Stephen A. Man, you so quick to go with this race card, man. You so quick to always pull that out your bag, man. Like, what's up with you, man? What's up with you? Because you the same dude be shucking the job in these same jokers' faces, but all of a sudden. It's inexplicable what happened to Shador. No, Shador no guy, and he has said it on the back end, but like Swagoo and them said, and they used Jeremy Tunsil as a perfect example. Jeremy Tinsel was supposed to go 1 that year. 1. Got caught on tape smoking weed with the weed mask. We know the story, right? He dropped, but he still went first round, right? Why? Because his talent was undeniable, bro. His talent was not going to land him to the second round. It just wasn't. So our owner was willing to suck that away because this dude going to be a game changer. Shedeur, this is the reality. You are a good quarterback. You will probably be a good pro, but you are not jumping off nobody's board. You just wasn't. You don't have the skill sets of a Caleb Williams that was a generational talent. Jaden Daniels, who was a Heisman Trophy winner, game changer. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Travis Hunter, the guy that won Heisman, the guy that went 2. You know, he went to the combine and still put on. Why? Because he loves football. He loves football, bro. You lost sight of what you're doing. And I don't mean on this rant. I just had to get it out, bro. You lost sight of who you was, Shedeur. Humbleness. You are a good hard worker. You should have been selling them traits. Not the cocky, look, we made it. I get it. I drive Benzes and Range Rovers already. Look, I'm iced out. I'm legendary. Look at the watch. My dad. And Dion got a lot to do with that. But he got to understand, you didn't grow up like your dad. Your dad didn't do that because he came from poverty. His mom struggled to make sure that he said his mom ain't even see him play football. That's how bad it was because she had to go to that and clean them houses because, and he told it in his inductment speech. He told a story how his mother struggled for him to be able to play football, and he felt embarrassed because his mom couldn't come out there and she had to clean them houses. That's his story, right? He created Prime for the marketability and to get the money. That's where Prime came from, right? But the relationships that were built, I believe, were built with Dion, not Prime. That's a whole different person. Shedeur got caught up in the Prime stuff. You're a prima donna, bro. You don't understand what struggle is. What struggle? You ain't getting $100 for the allowance or whatever. Y'all live in big houses. Like all y'all got houses on this property. You got big old property. Y'all grew up in mansions, okay? Y'all couldn't touch the ceilings. Y'all don't know what hunger or starvation meant, okay? You have what's called a gold spoon in your mouth. It ain't even silver, it's gold. Porcelain, marble floors. That's what you grew up around, bro. So you don't have that same struggle, bro. You don't, you're not pressed for money, especially with Neil. You made your money, So it gotta be the love of this football. It gotta be to stamp your own legacy, man. So you're living in your father's shadow. You need to start solidifying your stance of what you're gonna bring to the league. You started off on a bad note. It could get better. I think it's very hard because you are the 5th quarterback on this totem pole. How you gonna get the snaps? How you gonna get the snaps? It ain't enough snaps for you to get. Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel's was picked before you.
Picked in the 3rd round.
So he's on a depth chart higher than you. Bro, it's gonna be an uphill battle.
But it is a battle he can win.
He can win it.
If you're going to land on a team that's got a bunch of quarterbacks, this is a bunch of mediocrity.
Right. So you're right.
One guy is pushing 40.
Yeah.
Another guy is going to be a backup. Let's just call it what it is. Pickett's a backup.
Yeah, it's fact.
I mean, there was nothing that showed me franchise quarterback out of Dylan Gabriel.
No.
Nice quarterback at the collegiate level, playing at Oregon, but Shedeur I thought looked better. Shedeur to me was a day 1, day 2 quarterback. If he didn't make it in the 1st round, he should have made it early in the 2nd round. But you nailed it. The word that I heard in describing Shedeur at the combine was entitled. He acted entitled. And all the teams picking later than 7, he barely gave any time to. He barely had a conversation. He barely looked them in the face. He felt like he was top 7 or don't talk to me. And as you said, this is a job interview, and there's only 32 jobs. So you should have treated team 1 to team 32, everybody in between, the same. Okay? because every team, even though Cleveland picked you, every team passed on you. Only Cleveland passed on you one time less.
Mm-hmm.
But the flip side is they thought another quarterback in the third round was better than you.
Mm.
Okay, so that's like a backhanded slap, like compliment to me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, we wanted you, but we wanted somebody else better, but not enough that we think he's a franchise guy. We just wanted him because that's what our big board was telling us. That's what the GM for Cleveland said when he took Shador. He's like, now we would just be purposely ignoring him
Yep.
and going against our big board. He was on our big board, and we took him. We stuck to our big board, which is stupid. You got all these quarterbacks.
It was
You
dumb.
kidding me?
I never heard of
You
it. I
kidding me?
never
I'm
heard
sticking
of
to
it,
my big board, and it says if your big board said take a punter and you already drafted a punter, are you taking another punter?
bro.
Come on,
There's
man.
no way that it's just no. That's an owner's call.
Nerds. They're these nerds that let me show you how smart I am.
That was
What
dumb.
I've done the last 3 months. Man, I did a big board in one day. One day. Get out of here with this. After the third round, you're just flipping a coin. Get out of here.
That's it. Big board. You trying to tell me at the fifth round he was on your big board in the fifth?
Yeah.
Fifth round?
257 players, and there's Shador. There he is. Did I quarterback 2 rounds earlier? Yeah, I did, but I'm sticking to my big board. Get out of here, you dumb.
Get out of here, man.
That's Cleveland. That's a typical Cleveland thing.
That's typical Cleveland, man. But on the flip side, though, I would like talking about another Cleveland team, if you don't mind.
Cavaliers.
Brother, I don't know if you saw the game yesterday.
Yeah.
Did you see the game yesterday?
Well, I saw the second half because you texted me and said, "Isn't this a closeout game?" And they're up by 40.
Yeah.
The other team, and then I responded back, I think they actually won by 56.
Yeah, you definitely hit me, bro. You hit me.
And they were up by 60.
Look, you hit me back with that, right? It was so bad that at the halftime show on TNT with Chuck and Charles Barkley and Charles Barkley and Shaq and all them, it had to be the meme. It was the meme show. It's like they said that because Bam Adebayo, to his credit, he came out. He said, "Yeah, we're just gonna fight. We're gonna fight going out, right?" If that's your version of fighting, man, you have a sister, right?
Yeah.
That would be the version of your sister trying to fight you. Stop, Gil. I'm just gonna tell mom on you, Gil. I'm gonna get you, Gil. You better stop leaving me alone, Gil. When I said no fight, Gil, it was 73-23 at one point. They couldn't hit the side of the basket. They couldn't defend whatsoever. When I say Cleveland was that, it was them in the gym. It was them in the gym, like for real. It was practice. It was we just came to practice, right? It was embarrassing, which I expect the number 1 seed to do what they're supposed to do. That, Miami overachieved. They was a 10th seed. They made history of a 10th seed. We understand they were a 10th seed. Went against the number 1 seed. That's what the number 1 seed is supposed to do. Destroy you. Break your spirit. Let you know that, you need to go back in the draft, go get some good players. Y'all got to retool this thing. The Miami culture don't exist. Because I'm telling you right now, this is Miami culture. We just stomped it to death. Pat Riley.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened. We buried Miami's culture. We showed you the value what Jimmy Butler brings to a team. You say what you want about Jimmy, okay? What Jimmy does, he stops the bleeding. They're not getting blown out with Jimmy Butler on that court like that. They're not. He would defend you. He would get you some buckets. Soon as it would have been getting crazy, he would have got you the bucket to kind of calm it down. You need them veterans on your team because Miami it's a young team, and Andrew Wiggins ain't the veteran you want to be leading your squad of veterans. He's just not. He's never been that. He's been came out of Kansas as a high pick, but he has never been that guy where he was like, you built the team around him.
He was number one, wasn't he?
He was number one. He was number one. He was number one. And he was just that guy. It's his personality. He's not, some leaders are, he's not a vocal leader. Okay. Jimmy Butler was. He had to fight for everything he got. I thought it was, man, Cleveland looked awesome. They look awesome. And Donovan Mitchell didn't have to have a big game.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have to have a big game because the whole team killed you, right? But I thought it was good. What you thought? I mean, is it even a thing to think about? They got destroyed.
I think Cleveland showed that they're the number one seed. It looked like a 1 versus a 10. And I also think there was some emotion in that last game because you probably heard Kevin Love's father just died.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he just died, I think, earlier that day or the night before, something like that. It was very recent before that game. And there were more guys on the Cleveland team that knew Kevin Love better than guys on the Miami team.
Yeah.
Because he had played with them for a few years, like, Christian Thompson and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So for as much as those Miami players wanted to, fight off elimination and, play hard for Kevin and stuff like that, A, Cleveland was better, and B, they wanted to play hard for Kevin.
Yeah.
So there just was no advantage at all for Miami. Plus, I think Cleveland's got a real good coach.
They really do,
I
man.
think they
Oh,
got a
my
good
goodness.
coach.
Yes, they do.
I'm very happy for him. He got screwed with Brooklyn.
Yes.
That was awful. But then he went to Golden State, won another championship as an assistant coach with Golden State. Plus, he in his past he had won with San Antonio.
Mhm.
So
He's a good coach. He's a great coach.
he's a good coach, and you
Good
gave
coach.
some talent, and look what he did with it.
Indeed.
So yeah, they're gonna be a tough out. Everybody, including myself, is assuming that Boston is gonna come out of the East.
Yeah.
They might. They're the defending champion. They got the same roster. But Cleveland's for real.
They for real. It's
And
for
they're
real.
going to have home court, which is not what they had last year.
When I say that this Cleveland team is a dangerous team, like they have a lot of bodies and a lot of rotation. They're deep. They're deep. And it was because they played them all year. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But like Boston's deep too. So both of them rosters are deep. I'm a Knicks fan, and I think we're gonna close our game with Detroit. I think we probably won tonight. I know Milwaukee's won tonight, so they saved off elimination. Dame is unfortunately Dame suffered an Achilles injury. They just can't catch a break out there in Milwaukee, man. They can't catch a break.
Oh, they catch breaks. But yeah.
Oh man. Indiana, and that's why I couldn't pick Indiana to advance to a chip, because games like this, you're supposed to, especially with Dame Lillard out, you're supposed to kill Milwaukee tonight. They was not supposed to be going back to Milwaukee. They'll probably close them out in Milwaukee, blow them out in Milwaukee. But then you have to what? They'll be playing Cleveland. That'll be a good series.
Yep.
That'll be a good series. That'll be a good series.
They'll be playing Cleveland and New York. If they close it out, they'll be playing
Boston. We can't beat Boston.
No, but that'll get some great ratings.
Oh, it's going to get some great ratings, but we can't beat Boston. Why? Because Ted plays our starters way too many minutes, bro. Like too many minutes. They're logging 40+ minutes in a game, and we got a whole bench that he would not utilize. So that's why we won't be able to beat Boston, because we're going to be gassed by the time the fourth quarter come. Our starters are going to be gassed, man. And you know how that go. Your shots be falling short. You know how I go. On the other side, and I know you happy because this bad man right here that's on the screen, this man right here is single-handedly killing the Lakers. I don't think Brian get one this year, bro. They don't have a bench. Jason
Even if,
Tatum
even,
going for a
even
playoff.
if the Lakers were to come back and pull it out and win it in 7, they're going to be dead.
Yeah.
They're going to be dead tight. LeBron's 40. Every
Yeah.
now and then he has to remind you that he's 40. And Luka is Luka. He's an offensive weapon, but he's a defensive liability.
Yes, he is.
So, he
No big man.
take it away.
No big man.
Right. They lack the big man. That'll catch up with them.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't see them beating Minnesota, man. Minnesota's too big.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't think I'm beating them, man.
Cheers.
I believe that this series right here with the Clippers and the Nuggets, that's the one that's hard to call, man, because it is such a great series like we thought it was going to be.
How about the ending to Game 4?
Oh man, with the dunk dunk by Gordon.
Yeah.
This is what I'm talking about. Like it's such an evenly matched series, bro. Like I don't even know what I can't say which team is doing what to win. Like it's just been Kawhi had a big game. Joker had a nice game. He hasn't had a Joker game, but he didn't have some nice games. Jamal Murray hasn't heated up yet, but then you got Harden hasn't really going off. So it's just so many narratives, man. So many narratives. You see 7? I definitely see 7. You see 7 going to the 7?
Oh yeah, but I'm sticking with my pick. I'm still sticking with the Clippers.
Yeah, Clippers. Yeah, I think they're gonna edge it out. Which is set up the next game. It was set up for them to be playing because they're gonna be what they the 5th seed.
Yes.
They will have to play
4 and 5.
Yeah, 4 and 5. So if Golden State, which I got them beating Houston, they're gonna beat Houston. We knew this. Golden State have to play OKC because they'll be the lowest seed, so they have to play that 1 seed. Not to jump ahead, but I'm gonna jump ahead. I got OKC going all the way, bro. I think it's gonna be OKC and Minnesota in that final for the West.
Who's Minnesota would play the winner of Denver and
yes,
Clippers?
Denver Clippers, yeah. And I have whoever wins that series, I still got Minnesota edging them out.
Really?
I do.
I don't know.
You think the Clippers? You think the Clippers will beat Minnesota?
I'm not sure the Clippers will beat Denver. To be perfectly honest, it would be a very Clipper thing for them to do is lose this first.
Yeah, that's what they do, right?
Yeah, because they really could have been up. Yeah, they could have won this series. They could have won each one of these games, and it's 2-2.
And they gotta go back to Denver.
And they got to go back to that. I mean, I'm still gonna pick the Clippers, but it would not surprise me at all if Denver won.
Yeah, you're right. Because the Clippers, like you said, do Clipper type things.
Yes,
they do. Yeah. They do. Like they never fails. You say they're gonna win. Next thing you know,
they were
their history. It's their history.
Paper in the bubble, the best team, team 5 years ago.
Yeah,
they were. So yeah, I'm not until they actually win a series or two. I mean. Yeah, I picked them, but I'm not. You're probably right. It probably would be Minnesota.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that Minnesota is up 3-1. All this hoopla about the trade and all this stuff, and if they get eliminated round 1 as a 3 seed, I love it.
Laker Nation.
I love it so much. This must be what it's like when people are happy when the Yankees lose in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's
when the Cowboys don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's a feeling.
Oh my gosh! I got to say, I know we're in the NBA. We could go right back to the NBA. But what I did like was the when Tyler Booker
Mm-hmm.
on the Micah Parsons podcast
Yeah.
that day he got drafted. Did you hear
Yeah.
what Tyler said?
What do you say?
He said, I'm going to paraphrase a little, but I'm going to get as close word to word. He said his favorite part of playing football is, and he starts to go, that like that guy, right, that loves football, gets so excited to play it. And every moment he's all about football and excitement and stuff like that. He's like, that guy? And Mike is like, yeah, I know that guy. He's like, okay, I'm the one destroying that guy. I'm the one taking the love of football right out of him, play by play by play.
I like
From
that.
the first quarter to the fourth quarter, I see his whole face, his whole body expression change
I
because
like
the love he had for football went right out the window by the end of the game because he had to face me.
I like that.
Now that's
I like that. I like that.
that is awesome.
I like that. You know what? And I can see with a speech like that, I'm pretty sure he told Jerry them the same thing. With a speech like that, he sold himself because he just sold it to me. I want that type of guy on my line. I
Yeah.
do.
Well,
I
Michael
want
went
that guy on
crazy.
my line.
Michael went crazy. He's like, woo! Like all of a sudden he loved that pick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that was
I know because
cool. And the other person was, how they interview when you first get picked and you get on the stage and you hug the commissioner.
Yeah.
Well, what's his name from the Patriots? Will Campbell.
Will Campbell. Yeah, Will Campbell.
Well, when he started getting interviewed, this guy is 6'6". He's a big dude. He started crying. The emotion started coming out, and then he got asked, "What are you going to do for your quarterback? What can they expect? What can the Patriots expect for you to do for your quarterback?" And in tears, he said, "I'm going to fight and die to protect him." In tears, I will fight and die to protect him.
Football
Now,
player.
I mean, that was
That's a
that
football player.
hit me. That all of a sudden someone was chopping onions behind me, and I don't know what was happening to my eyes, but I was like, oh, I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's it was like in the moment, like he really like let the emotion out, and that's how he felt. I'm like, man, that's pretty awesome. I want that guy playing for me. So him and Tyler Booker, I really liked what they had to say because that was like how they really felt. This is what you can expect. This is what I'm going to do. And they're both offensive linemen, so maybe it's an offensive lineman thing.
Yeah.
I had to think, but yeah. So getting back to the NBA, any outside of the Lakers and the Timberwolves, anything surprise you at all?
No, I thought the Warriors I thought the Warriors being a veteran team. And then Jimmy Buckets, you say what you want about the guy. Playoff Jimmy is a whole different animal. And you want that type of guy in your roster. He just increases it. So I already knew that Houston, and credit to Houston's season, man. That's a remarkable turnaround for them to be the second seed. I just think that they're young and they're just, just like OKC was last year, right? Even though I think OKC is a little bit more advanced than Houston was, it's still a young roster. So you have to work through a young roster because they're just learning how to win together. So I didn't expect them to dethrone or to beat Golden State. So Golden State bucked up, or San Francisco, whatever, bucked up by playing Houston, a young Houston team. Now next year might be a whole different story, right? So I'm not surprised at all. OKC did what a number one seed supposed to do, and stop an overrated team to death. Because that's what Memphis is, overrated. And I keep telling you that John Moran playing that style of basketball is reminiscent of, and I'm not going to put him in the same category because this guy was awesome. He was an MVP. It's just the way he played. No, not Iverson. He played like Derrick Rose. He played like a Derrick Rose. The explosiveness to the bucket in. You know, that once again, you heard what I said. I'm not going to compare him to Derrick Rose, MVP Derrick Rose, because that dude was just a different level athlete. But I'm just talking about far as like him, the Brandon Roys, because Iverson, yeah, he went to the cup. You feel me? And yes, he took a lot of bumps, but it wasn't explosive, like banging on jokers, like you
Uh,
know,
I don't know.
trying
His
to
first
throw
couple,
that ball down your throat.
I remember him getting a one-handed offensive rebound, dunking it on Marcus Camby.
Yeah, but you look at John Moran, he's a highlight reel. That's what he's
Yeah,
looking to do. He's trying to bang on you, just like Derrick Rose. If you jumped up in
yeah.
that lane, Derrick Rose is going to bang on you. Brandon Roy, same way. It's just that level of play, and I compared them two more like because they were so.
You say Brandon Roy,
Brandon, do you not remember Brandon Roy? And
Portland?
yes, do you not remember Brandon Roy how he played? You
Yeah.
since one, you got to really go back through the tape on the guy. He was when he was playing, he was like that in Portland. He was just explosive.
I mean, I would have said more like a Westbrook in OKC.
Westbrook, look at his career though. That I can't compare the two. I'm looking at injury.
I'm just saying in OKC, you know, he was really good with the triple doubles and the
Yeah,
MVP and all that.
but my point is the injury, not the style of play. I'm talking about I picked them guys because Derrick Rose's career was, I believe, was not the same because of the injuries.
Oh,
Brandon Roy was out the league because of the injuries. Because when you go so explosive to that rim like that, to that basket, it tends to be hard on your joints. You know what I mean? And that's how John Morant. That's why he's been injured the last couple of years because of how he plays. He plays so he got to have to get in mid range. He got to learn how to get in mid range.
Didn't I tell you I was afraid he wasn't going to last?
You said it. You said it. You said it. You said it. You know. And I brought up Michael Jordan, and once again, he's not in the category of Michael Jordan. But I was saying that when Michael Jordan got smart, because you know when Mike came in, he was doing the same thing, going to cup, banging on you. Then he got smart. He started developing mid-range game. Once he got that mid-range game, and he'll kill you from that mid-range back to the wall, pump, it was over. I ain't got to dunk on you. You can't stop this. I'm gonna kill you through all this. So
he also transformed his body.
He did. He got bigger. He got stronger. You know, so John Moran got one, put the guns down, pick the grenades away, stop all the other stuff, man. Dedicate to that weight room. Get your little bony frame some muscle, okay? Get a mid-range. Hell, get a three-point shot, a consistent one, okay? And I promise your career will last way longer, and you might go down as one of the legends, you know. But at this rate, you ain't gonna last that long, buddy. You ain't gonna last that long, buddy. Okay. And to move on, since we could pivot to another playoff, which is the NHL. Bro, and this is what we talked about. We not talk about the NHL. Hockey is nothing like basketball, man. Because you could be the number one seed, don't mean nothing.
You just got to make it.
Got to make it.
That's all.
Because Dallas in Vegas, Dallas is up, bro. You feel me? I'm sorry, it wasn't Dallas because Dallas is playing at the Avalanche, Colorado. So Dallas is up by the closeout, Colorado. I think they're gonna go 7-0. I think Colorado come back and win that next game. We got Winnipeg, they tied. Winnipeg's tied up.
Winnipeg was the number one seed.
It was number one seed.
Overall.
But you know, Winnipeg's history, they do this in the postseason. If you know anything about hockey, that's what they do. Your Devils, I don't know what the score was, but I know they was trying to stave off elimination.
Yeah, they were up 3-0 in the first period.
Crazy.
They got tied 3-3. Then they took the lead 4-3, and then they got tied again 4-4, and then we started recording.
Oh my goodness.
So I don't know. I'm sure the game is over, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. 4-4 with like 2.5 minutes left in the second period.
And no, I know Toronto. Ottawa was up 1-0 before we came on. They're trying to stave off elimination, but I got Toronto win that series. They just too
man. Toronto's another one of those teams, man. They until they win it, I'm not picking them to win.
You ain't lying about that, brother. Right now, Florida looking good. Florida's looking real good. I know they're
defending champions.
Yeah, they are. You know, they always get Tampa Bay problems anyway. In the Floridas, they always get Tampa Bay. That's a bad matchup for Tampa Bay. The Kings, I think the Kings are down. Are they 2-1 or is it tied up?
Who are they playing?
Kings are playing Edmonton.
The
Oilers. They're playing the Oilers.
I don't know.
I think it's 2-2. I think it's 2-2. What's the other? Montreal, Washington. Washington's on the closeout. They should be closing out Montreal.
Let's go Washington.
Yeah, let's go Washington. And what was it? That's it. What was the other team that was playing?
When the Devils get eliminated, which might be tonight, I'll be rooting for Washington. One last ride for Ovechkin.
Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I got Washington as my team. I don't see none of them Canadian teams winning. They always do this, man. They come out and they have a great regular season, postseason, man. They just underachieve. I could tell you a team I think might end up. It might be Dallas, man. Dallas got one of them because they got a good defensive team, so it might be Dallas. Like the dark horse might be Dallas.
I'm hoping it's Edmonton. They made it to the Cup last year. They were down nothing, 1-3 to force a Game 7 and lost in Game 7. So they have the best player in the world right now in Connor McDavid.
Yeah, McDavid, yep.
But Ovechkin is a Mount Rushmore talent at this point.
He is.
I got top 4. So you got one of the best ever against right now the best in the league. So I would love Edmonton and Washington. I would love that. And it can happen.
It can. Washington got a nice team. They got a strong team. They really do. So I could see it. That'd be a great cup. That'd be a great cup.
Man, that would be star power.
That'd be star power right there, man.
It's star power. For sure.
For sure.
All right. Well, I guess we'll just end it with the WWE. Not much to really say other than Sami Zayn will not be part of this new group that we call it Evolution 2.0. That is not what Seth Rollins wants it called, but that's what it reminds us of. The bloodline, all that.
Yeah.
There's 3-4 people in a fraction. Sami Zayn had a choice to be in it. He chose not to be in it, so they eliminated him.
They definitely did.
So I feel like they're gonna get one more person. I just don't know who it's gonna be.
Yeah, man, I'm trying to think. It would be good. What's called challenge? Jey Uso for the belt already. Logan Paul.
Yeah, I don't see it being Logan Paul. It's not going to be a standalone person. It's going to be someone good, but is going to be able to mesh in well. Dude, I wouldn't count out Becky Lynch.
That's what I was thinking. I wouldn't
count her out.
She already went heel.
Be a
the chick. Yep, she went heel. Because I'm trying to think who else it would be. That's the only one I could think of.
I don't know. We'll stay tuned and maybe we'll try and figure out, because I think by Backlash we're gonna know.
Because Gunther's gonna be Pat McAfee's gonna.
Oh gosh, he's gonna murder Pat McAfee.
Yeah,
gonna murder him. Pat McAfee was a punter in the NFL, not a linebacker.
Yeah, he's tripping.
Yeah, he is tripping. All right. Want to thank everyone for tuning in to the What's Good with Gil and Larry podcast. You can catch us every Tuesday. Make sure to hit like, subscribe, tell a friend, and also look out for Matt's Monday reviews on Mondays. And we'll catch you next Tuesday. Keep the playoffs in mind with the NHL and the NBA, and we'll be talking about them next week. From my main man, Larry Loper, I'm Gil Irizarry saying deuces.
Good show, partner.
Great show, partner. See you next week.